Hey everyone, it's MyJobJr, and throughout the course of the week I haven't really had time to do any video ideas that required hard testing. So instead of missing or delaying a video for this week, I decided to do a video about something simpler. Basically, with all of the various changes to gun balance and game mechanics throughout the lifecycle World War II so far, I definitely switched up my custom class builds to suit the meta a couple times. So if you're just looking for a fresh perspective on what classes you can run, or simply just curious about my playstyle, I've decided to cover my top 3 custom classes that I run in World War II right now. But as a sort of preface, these classes are built to suit my style in particular, so feel free to mess around and experiment with these classes to make them suit you. But also, it might be helpful to understand that I typically don't rush very aggressively in World War II. Instead, I try to find a balance with speed and adjust my playstyle quite dramatically depending on the type of players I'm up against. I also don't touch the competitive scene too much, so don't expect these custom class builds to be suitable in that kind of environment. But nevertheless, here's my first class. Generally, I use this Airborne class when enemies are stable, as in not flanking every 2 seconds, or aren't launching too many streaks up like recon planes. Basically, whenever both teams are evenly matched, I load up this class to attempt to turn the tables with help of the Requisitions basic training, where pushing for just one high tier score streak like paratroopers can win the match. And for my primary, while you can substitute the grease gun for anything you're more comfortable with, I would try to stick with an SMG to stay mobile and acquire points for your streaks as fast as possible, since dying isn't a problem with requisitions. However, I would give the grease gun a shot. It boasts very consistent handling with a great damage output, which allows you to take out enemies at close range and even out to medium range without too much trouble. For attachments, I like running quick draw to help on getting the first shot out up close, and using grip to help maximize control for those longer range gunfights. Next up, this infantry class is very cookie cutter in a sense where you can swap out many of the parts of it and use it against pretty much any type of player. The infantry division is great here since it allows you to maintain your movement speed while aiming down sights, which can help you become a much harder target if you simply just get used to strafing left and right in a gunfight. For my taste, I really enjoy using the STG-44 since it has a nice damage output along with recoil that is very manageable in most cases. So in a sense, there isn't really a situation where the STG is a bad choice. It does everything well, but nothing the best. For attachments, I put both the quick draw and grip again for pretty much the same reasons as the grease gun. But the grip on the STG is more debatable, so I sometimes switch it out for something like extended mags. However, on the STG, I strongly recommend high caliber, as typically the STG will boast a 4-shot kill out to far range. But with high caliber, if you score just 1 headshot, it reduces the needed shots to kill down to 3. This in turn makes the STG very competitive, as the STG's damage profile becomes even similar to the bar, whilst having lower recoil than it. But now, as a heads up, this last class here is quite scummy and actually might offend you, so you've been warned. This third and last class here is specially designed to help you lock down a position until the release of Black Ops 4 in a couple months. Dedicated to explosives and rage-inducing bullshit, the Expeditionary division allows for S-mine resupply with every single kill, even kills from the S-mines themselves. This means you can infinitely replace S-mines as long as they get the kill. The launch basic training grants the Panzerschreck, and with practice it is a great tool that can aid in keeping close quarters areas nice and secured. But also to mention, for every kill you get with guns, you get both an S-mine and a Panzerschreck rocket back with 1 resupply, ensuring that you can hunker down for the long haul. For a primary weapon, I prefer using the Lewis gun as it has plenty of ammo and doesn't need too many attachments to be a great choice. In particular for attachments, I use FMJ to take down recon planes if I have no more rockets left to spare, and then quick draw just to speed things up a little. Now, while I know camping is one of the most hated playstyles in Call of Duty, sometimes I feel it's necessary to act as an anchor to support the objective, like in Domination, or to simply keep enemies from spawn trapping your team. But with that, that's all for my custom classes that I currently use in World War II. For the future, I'll probably do one of these whenever a major balancing patch comes out, just to keep you guys updated on what I think is great to try out in the current meta. But as usual, thanks for sticking around, and until the next video.